One of the stars of Sherman's showcase, Sherman McDaniels, is here.
Hold on, wait, one of. Worms!
Outrageous! Hey, this looks like it's made from elephants.
We just want to thank God. Y'all really gonna boo God for real?
For pop, C is for cool cat, and F is for funkin'.
Hi, Iman. You're welcome for having me.
Glad we see eye to eye on this.
I went for something understated.
You shine.
Hey, I'll be a disco ball.
Yes, we could hang you upside down and spin you around.
I don't think you should be talking about hanging black people, David. We were doing some drugs.
What are you most excited about fans experiencing with this new season?
This is the general answer. I'm excited for fans to experience the season itself. I think that, if you see our show, we have had some time between season one and the special, and between the special and season two. Certainly if we had our way, the show would be on every 12 months like clockwork. In the current environment, you do have to kind of show and prove with every season to get the next one. And so we're certainly up for the challenge, but at the same time, we love doing this show. It's really a labor of love. And the fact that this is a show shot on a stage where in one episode you can go from watching a Western to watching a musical about black hair, to watching a space opera. I mean, that's nothing but us living out our, 12-year-old, fantasies of all the cool, fun things we would do if we had our own TV show. And so we share that enthusiasm with fans who also love those same things, who also love to geek out about both science fiction and music and Black history and also current events, whatever's going on. And so I'm just so grateful that we got to do it again. And I think fans are really going to love all the different ways we're entertaining this season.
I'm just so excited for people to get a refresh on a show that they, since it debuted in almost 4 years ago, they've only had a 1 hour special to sort of re-up, their interest. And now we get to come back with all these new episodes, a lot of new characters, a lot of new guest stars. And, I dare I say, because of the pandemic, we didn't get as many of the guest stars coming in as we wanted, because people had varying levels of comfort at the time that we were shooting. But what that ended up doing was it allowed us to really focus on our sort of repertoire, our repertory of cast members. We have, Bashir, who's just amazing in so many various, sketches and songs. We have everybody from Zuri, the singer who from Drop a Load for Jesus, to Chance the Rapper, well, not Chance the Rapper, actually. I would say Rob Hayes is actually, I meant to bring up. Rob Hayes, who's one of our writers, who's so funny when you put him in front of the camera. There's just so many people who are actor friends of ours who are bubbling just at the cusp. It sort of reminds me of that, first wave of Saturday Night Live people. Everybody thought everybody's going to watch Saturday Night Live for who was hosting that week, but it turned out people really liked the cast of the show. And I feel like this season we were able to put our cast fully in front of the camera. We gave a whole episode almost to the actor who plays Joe in a vest. And it's really funny stuff. It's our fashion episode. So, you get to really know the cast of our show better than ever.
Yeah, Joe in the Vest was hilarious. And let me tell you something, the Diddy's 8, I couldn't even control myself with Diddy's 8. That was classic. How do y'all come up with this stuff?
So many jokes in that. Well, okay, so we did Temptations 11, which was a story about all the Motown artists going after Berry Gordy in season 1. And early on in the writing process, someone was like, should we do an update where all the bad boy artists are going after Diddy? And we had a year to sort of sit on that idea because, once again, the pandemic had to show up. But when we came back to our ideas that we had written before before we were going to shoot, we were like, you know what? The idea, we're not saying it's true, but we're saying just the idea that the bad boy artists have beef with Diddy just seemed like such an evergreen idea. We were like, let's do something about that. And sure enough, just last week, Diddy's on the Breakfast Club talking about this, and it just seemed like, oh, that really was sort of like an idea that comes up over and over again. So we got some of the funniest people that we know, and it's by the way, there were actually actors in the scene before. Like, we had somebody to play Mace, we had somebody to play Lil C's. But at some point, we just decided, you know what? Let's let the ladies do this one, because this is really funny stuff, and it's kind of in line with Ocean's 8, which was sort of like the all female version of the Ocean's movies. We just got some of the funniest people that you can think of, from Risha to Amanda Seales to Zuri to Chandra Russell and James Alsop, who plays an amazing Lil' Kim. And just so many, great people in that sketch that, yeah, it's one of our favorite sketches too. Like, I think if you just saw that and didn't even know it came from Sherman Showcase, you will laugh, because those are just some really fun jokes.
Well, another great one, of course, is the Real Housewives, the African Housewives.
Oh my God! So good.
I mean, that's brilliant.
Yes. What I love?
Bashir and I have been watching a lot of Bravo lately.
I mean, we've
been watching Potomac, watching Beverly Hills. Go ahead, Pete.
No, I agree. I agree. We have 2 Housewives sisters. We also have Portia on the show this season. I would also say what I love about our Sherman in Africa episode is, like, one of our favorite writers, Rashida Olaiwola, is from Chicago, but she's Nigerian as well. Demi Ajigbe is a great writer and actor who blessed us with some funny sketches. So we have these people in our orbit who not only do we want to make jokes everybody can laugh at, but we also have this added thing of having the guidance of African writers who understand the funny, and also people who we were already working with on other projects who threw in for that episode. And so I just love that whoever watches it is going to really see some really funny stuff, and none of it is what you expect. None of it is anything remotely, stereotypical or remotely that you've seen before, and it feels very fresh, and it also feels very vibrant. Of all the things that the show does, I'm really proud about our Emmy-winning costume designer, Ariella Wald-Cohane, and I'm really proud of her work in that episode, because she really dug deep. She really went into her research trenches, and some of the costumes in that episode are like some of those costumes should be like when you go to the ArcLight Cinema and they have costumes in those glass boxes. Like, at some point, it would behoove somebody to do the costumes of Sherman Showcase exhibit, because the work, people don't understand how much work goes into that. I promise you, we do not pay people correctly for how much work they do for our show. And this goes across the board for all departments. We just get lucky that people are passionate about it. And just like they see us going the extra mile, our team is happy to go the extra mile. But that Africa episode, I personally feel like, I think nobody's going to see that coming. And I'm really proud about how beautiful and bright and funny it is.
So you mentioned moments ago that there was a 4-year break between the seasons, right? So I'm wondering about
almost a 4-year break. Yep.
Yeah. Where do you all, your writing team, where do you pull from inspiration? I mean, I'm wondering during that break, how much of what was happening in the real world on social media, real life reactions in urban culture to a lot of like the triggering topics in society. How much of the last 4 years did you unpack or probably draw from to inspire this show?
It's really hard to put a number on it. I will say that, there were things that we definitely wanted to do on the show that we didn't get to do because just too much time had passed, so we moved on. I mean, I was saying to someone else, I think we might have thrown out 70% of what we wrote in the fall of 2020, just because by the time that we were back in the writer's room in the fall of 2021, we didn't know if we still wanted to do that stuff. And honestly, some people had beat us to some stuff. Like, for example, we had written this amazing song about the very dark subject of child soldiers. In the time that we were off the air, Michael Shea did something sort of similar. We were like, you know what, we have to push on. Bashir and I are big fans of, did somebody else already do this? Okay, there's enough stuff that we're laughing at that we don't have to do it as well. Even if we think, not talking about Michael Shea now, but like just saying like in general, if SNL beats us to it or somebody else beats us to it, and whether they did a good job of it or not, we're moving on because there are enough things that we can talk about. And I think that the episodes that you see this season sort of prove that. I don't think any filler sketches made it through the pipeline because we only had 20 minutes per episode, to play with. So we had to make sure every single minute of that 20 was funny.